Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to a brand new PSGL video. This is round number 5, if my mind serves me correctly. We're getting to that point again where I start forgetting what round we're at. But I think it's round number 5. It is definitely Suzuka. And we had WR here on Sunday as well. So yeah, that was a good bit of practice and also made me realize that I had quite a bit of work to do in qualifying, because we did get into Q3, but we were, I think, over 4 tenths off at the end of that session. Yeah, as you can see there, round number 5. It still says Austria on here, but Austria got replaced because of an RNG bump. So now we are racing around Suzuka. Honestly, great track to drive, but I've never really nailed it, you know. I haven't reached the top level yet quite around this track, but we're gonna try and do that today, or at least get closer. Freddy has always been really good here on this track, and he's 4 points ahead of us in the championship. But yeah, I think pretty much every year we raced here in F1 Esports, as far as I can remember, Freddy has won. So yeah, he is insane around here. Yeah, let's see what we can do here today. This is us ahead of our first run in Q1. New tires, of course, and yeah, just trying to get those tires in the right window. We're using the hardest compounds available around Suzuka, C321, which yeah, just makes them harder to warm up. Harder rubber is harder to warm up. You might be thinking, well, it's just a game, but Cody's and EA have simulated so that harder compounds are harder to warm up, but also have a higher operating window. And with the tire blankets in F1 being limited to 70 degrees, all tires enter the track with the same temperature. So yeah, first time through the S section. One of the best section of corners in the world, in my opinion, as we head into sector 2. First sector was not great, not bad. Yeah, a little bit of a moment there on the exit of Degner 2 or 1. I don't know the corners. I know they're called Degner and Spoon, but I think that was the exit of Degner 2 or 1, or I don't know. Doesn't matter. Into the double left-hander we go. If you got a lot of front end in the car, this corner is great, but I've completely missed the apex, unfortunately. If you got a lot of front end in the car, that corner is phenomenal. Unfortunately, if you put a lot of front end in the car, then you're going to be lacking on other parts of the track, and that's the difficult thing, of course. It's very often with setups. You know, if you have a really understeer or oversteery car, you might be really strong in some parts, but really weak in others. Still struggling with the chicane. I really struggled with it in WR and still couldn't quite get it right. Just bottomed out over the right-hander. So yeah, onto the last run in Q1. Had to go out again, and we're down in P20. So we're gonna have to improve quite a bit here. 2.6 tenths up, make that 3.3 tenths as we head across the line. And this is gonna be true with a 125.824 P6 at the end of that session. And that's no ideal. We had to use an extra set of tires. And that means, unless we can pull off a little bit of a miracle in our first new set of tire run in Q2, we're on the back foot in Q3, especially on a track like Suzuka that's so difficult. It's important to have 2 sets of tires for Q3. Nicolas Longay, Duncan Hovland, Joris Kroes, and Alvaro Carreton, and Xander van Dijken out in Q1 there. Nicolas Longay was a bit of a surprise because, remember, he won in WR, but the thing is, PSGL at the moment is just...
Did Fred bring extra fuel?
Yeah, it just has more F1 Esports drivers. It's just an F1 Esports grid. And the F1 Esports drivers that compete in PSGL also practice really, really hard for it. Which just makes it a higher level. It's just a lot harder to qualify on pole or qualify in the top 3. So, yeah, first run done in Q2, which was on a used set of tires. Put us in P5, and now we've put on a new set of tires. You can see the time is just creeping up. Even though we're using the hardest compounds available, the the tire wear is so high around here due to all to the high-speed corners. You also very often in real life see teams and drivers go for a two-stop around here. But we're 3.3 tenths up, and that's not too shabby so far. Let's see if you can keep gaining a little bit throughout this whole lap. Provisional P1 at the moment is a 0.6, I think so, 25.6. I think we did a 0.3, 26.3 on used tires, so we're gonna have to improve 6 to 7 tenths on the Delta here if we want to get P1. And so far we're 4.5 tenths up as we head into the final sector, so not too shabby. And time-wise, we should gain the most here in the last sector with the fresh rubber. Let's see what we can do through the final chicane, and that looks good. Managed to get a cut on both the right and the left, and we are gonna be 6.5 tenths up on our lap, and that puts us P2. 6 thousandths behind Thomas Ronhaar, who's also always really fast around here. And yeah, because that was our first new set of tires, and we put in such a strong lap, we now have saved a set of tires for Q3. It doesn't make sense that we did in Q2, but we just got the lap in. Yeah, that's very lovely. Lucas Blakely out in Q2. John Evans got pole here in WR by, I think, almost 2 tenths, and now out in Q2. And that just shows how hard PSGL is. I think he also just didn't quite get the lap together, to be honest. He definitely had the pace, but that is always a little bit the issue. Everyone seems to have pace for pole and top 10s and top 5s, but it's getting it together under pressure. It's what's the hard thing at this level. If you give everyone 1,000 laps, everyone is going to be within a few hundreds of each other, but you just don't get 1,000 laps. You get 2 or even 1 sometimes, depending on track evolution, depending on the tires you've got available. But here we go then. This is the lap that counts. Final lap in Q3. We put in a solid banker lap time, P4 on the grid, 25.5. Freddie already did a 0.4 in Q2. And we're going to be looking at a 25.3 or 25.2 as pole position here. We're 1 tenth up already, over a tenth up as we head into sector 2 here. Flat out through the right-hander. And this right-hander is so hard to get right. You need to carry as much speed as possible and get a good exit, not bottom out on the outside curb. We lost actually 200 to that right-hander. Into the hairpin we go. Little bit of a flick on the steering wheel to get a car slowed down, and we get a good exit. And it seems like we have not really lost or gained time, but there is more time in the final chicane, at least 1 tenth. So let's see if you can just keep gaining some time. And we're just too slow on the entry there, which gave us a tighter line for the left-hander here. A little bit of a wobble on the exit. That was just instantly a tenth gone, unfortunately. And it just looked so good up until that point. We were at 10 up. And yeah, with this final chicane, we could have been fighting for pole position here. We do get it right this time. You can see how much time it gains us. A 700 gain to our previous lap. And unfortunately, yeah, that's 1 tenth loss, maybe even more than 1 tenth loss, just cost us massively there. Cost us a potential P2. I think we didn't have the pace to beat Freddie today. He's always so fast on this track. And yeah, so P7 it is on the grid. Not great, not terrible. But considering we had the pace for top 3, it is terrible.
Yeah,
But, you know, we started in P10 in WR, finished P4. You know, 3 extra positions. I can see the vision. But we're going to be starting in the hards. Again, just like in WR, we got Ulas Ozildirim on the right on the mediums, and then the top 4 is on the mediums as well. Lights out and away we go. Otis Lawrence ahead of us on the hards as well. One of our championship rivals into turn 1. Just really parking the car in the middle, so yeah, wasn't really going too much on the attack. Just want to cover off anything from behind, and we maintain P7.
Oh my god.
We got a little tap
Holy
from behind. Again, we're just taking it calm in this opening lap because there's not much to gain. We can gain in position to Otis, but most likely we're not going to be able to do much against the cars in the top 5 on the mediums. You can see Freddie there straight away pulling quite a big gap to Barry Borman in P2. And that means we're going to have to go quite hard in around a lap as well once, yeah, the P5, P4, P3 guys start closing in on that gap. They're obviously going to have more grip, so I expect we're going to have to push a little bit here just to stay in the DRS until their tires start going off.
Alright, so only one car behind on medium and top 5 on medium, rest is on hards.
So yeah, a lot of people on hards actually, which didn't really expect that much, considering Suzuka is such a hard track to overtake. Yeah, it doesn't help the last corner is a chicane. And because it's a chicane, if you make a move down the inside, you just run into the issue of it being the outside for the next one. And yeah, lap 4 here, we actually had to push quite a bit to stay in the DRS. We actually broke DRS to Julian behind us a little bit there. But yeah, we just had to push hard to stay in the DRS and make sure we, didn't lose touch to the top 6 train, because that will be quite detrimental to our race. But because the Julian behind not getting DRS, he will catch back up, no doubt about it. But yeah, I just want to stay in that 7, 8, 10th window to give myself margins for a little mistake. And yeah, that we don't just straight away lose DRS, as quite a few cars pitting there. One of them is our teammate. Lap 10 is quite late. I was a bit surprised so many people boxed that late. I thought they would go for an undercut, at least one person, but didn't quite happen. And yeah, this might make it a little bit harder for us later on.
Medium hard went very long.
Yeah.
We're not gonna have bad tires at all.
So yeah, this might make it a little bit harder for us in the end, because yeah, they're gonna have better tires near the end when we are gonna be on the new mediums. So yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see. End of lap 14, Otis comes into the box. We continue once again. We got Julian Klaffenbach still behind. Lucas Blakely box as well behind us. And now it's just me, Julian Klaffenbach, Duncan Hovland, Alvar Carton, and Joris Kruisen still out on track.
Okay.
And once again, we're going to be staying out
Fred
here.
is leading the medium hard. He's lapping low 30s.
And as you can see there, we do a low 130 as well. Now this is
me.
going to get harder and harder for us to do, because we are extending. And the reason why we're extending is because the people who run the same strategy as us, hard mediums, they will have definitely undercut us by now. Because I think the undercut is between 1 to 2 seconds per lap. That's huge. And I decided, you know what, just let them undercut us. We are going to continue all the way to the end of lap 18 and move to instead of the mediums. You might be asking yourself, why not go to the softs at this point? The softs on this game are 9 out of 10 times on terrible tires. So we're going to be moving on to the mediums for 9 qualifying laps on a brand new set.
So we'll be quite tight with Aston Martin leading that way.
And yeah, 18 laps, really long time on a set of the hards. So yeah, we got some work to do here. But we're also going to have a very fresh set of tires on the car. There's actually been a crash, as you can see, on the straight here between Thomas and Otis. And yeah, Otis driving around without front wing at this point. As you can see, losing a lot of time. Car just not turning anymore. So that's going to be a free position for us. He leaves us a space. No crazy antics from him. So yeah, that is very lovely. And now up to P11. So we have to overtake 10 cars. Nicolas Longue first. And he is, I think, on 5 lap all the tires on us. I think he boxed at the end of lap 13. So he's going to have a massive disadvantage here to us, pace-wise, on his tires. And you can just see how much we're gaining corner by corner. Obviously, he has a little bit of dirty air as well.
That's 5 laps to Nico.
And yeah, we need to get past him ASAP. We got Duncan Hovland behind us. I think he boxed 2 laps before us, end of lap 16. So he's relatively fresh tires as well. to some cars ahead, but we just have to get past these medium runners. People that are on similar strategy to us, ASAP, so we can get to the hard runners, and they're going to be struggling more on their tires if we arrive early on. If we arrive too late, then the pace advantage is going to be gone.
Damage, you know.
Yep.
And yeah, Thomas damage as well,
Damage. Oh no.
due to the incident they had on the straight, Otis and Thomas. So yeah, damage around Suzuka is very tough because of all the high-speed corners. You just lose so much front end. You can see, actually quite smart, he's taking all the curbs to get some rotation out of the car. And yeah, that minimizes the loss. So let's see if we can get a move here on Nicolas Longue now. We have caught up. We are basically on 100% battery. And the hairpin is the first chance, but it's still a tough corner to overtake. Because you can see I go for the inside, and then Nicolas just goes for the inside as well. But if I go for the outside, then he goes for the outside as well. He's just not really much you can do about that in that corner. So I decided to turn off the battery, save a little bit, and then we get another opportunity in the run-up towards 130R, and you can see just how much more grip we have. We can stay within 1/10 through the corners, even though there's so much dirty air. But yeah, unfortunately, there's not a lot of slipstream from when you're in someone's gearbox. So Nicolas going on the attack here, and now we go for a switchback, and with the better tires, that's an easy position up to P10.
3-0.
And Thomas on 30% battery. That means we've got more. You can see he starts flashing there, which gives us just the edge into turn 1. We go around the outside, and there's a
Such sore loser behavior, man. You got no front wing. Fuck off.
And up to P9 we go. I got a little bit angry there. Yeah, Thomas let us go instantly there. He ran a little bit wide on the apex, which caused a little bit of contact, but he instantly let us go, gave us the position, and we could continue our journey. Up next, Julian Klaffenbach in P8. I think he boxed at the end of lap 14 as well. 14 or 15. So let's see if we can go for a move into turn 1 perhaps. Unfortunately, not a lot of slipstream. He is flashing though, and that means he has less battery than us. So I just decided to stay behind, recharge, and then if we keep doing this, eventually he just runs out of battery. So yeah, it won't last long before we get this move done. It just delays us a little bit here, which is unfortunate, but it is kind of to be expected around Suzuka. We went for a strategy that shouldn't work around Suzuka, but nonetheless, it is great to try. And it is a lot more fun than just boxing early and saving tires the entire race. So yeah, let's see if we can get P8 here. If we get P8,
Fucking hell.
there's Julian had something happen there, maybe a little bit of a mistake, but he really stopped there on the apex. Could be the tires as well, of course, but again, we're gonna have to go on the attack. Through the left hand, there we go. You can see we got more grip, but then once you get close, you just run out wide. But Julian has a little bit of a moment, and it invites us for a move into the chicane. And we just need to get a good run here out of 130R, and he squeezes us to the outside, leaves us just enough space. And into P9 we stay. But remember, last time around we had more battery, and I have no doubt that we're gonna have more battery again. You can see he's flashing there already while we're still well over 20%. Up to P8 we go, and that was a lovely battle between me and Julian. So up to P8 we go. We started P7, so we need one more position, which we should get because Alfie is on a 3-second penalty. The question always is that 3-second penalty going to be removable or not? So yeah, we still need to get the move on ideally on track, so we can go for a move on John Evans as well. And yeah, I can hear my engineer Liam say we got a 1 second per lap tire advantage to John Evans in P6. As there's actually a little bit of contact between John and Alfie there in turn 1. I think John got caught out on the curb a little bit on the inside, had a little moment. And yeah, then suddenly turn 1 becomes really tight going side by side. If the car on the inside has a little moment. So yeah, you can see he's lost DRS as well. He's 1.5 seconds behind Joni Toomala and P5, so we need to get past the ASAP here. And I knew that John probably wanted us to get past if he didn't get DRS anymore, because otherwise he might get double passed on the main straight.
Up 13.
And yeah, I was fine with that. I was fine getting the move done before the hairpin, because now I could just start closing up straight away. Rather than staying behind for another half a lap, we would lose even more time and we would regain a little bit with the DRS, but it would not be as much as when we get past. So yeah, 1.3 seconds the gap, so we're not going to get DRS on the main straight here. So we're just going to recharge, not use too much battery, so that in the final 2 laps we can go maximum attack.
Alright, so wing damage for the V-Carb in P4.
And yeah, that's even better for us, because now we can recharge our battery in sector 1 and also in sector 2. But while we're recharging battery, because our tires are so much more fresh, we're going to be gaining time through the corners as well. So we're going to be sitting on 100% battery entering the final lap. And we're still going to have much fresher tires. And those mediums from Joni Toomala, I think he boxed it in at lap 13. So we're going to have 5 lap tire advantage. And that's going to be huge, especially in this final lap. They'll be screaming. 14 laps into this race on a set of mediums is a very long time. So yeah, he's going to be nearing punctured territory, I think so. Remember, we did 18 laps on a set of hards, and they were pretty much gone. So yeah, once again, we're going to recharge the battery a little bit up the hill here, and then we're going to close the gap with the tire advantage through the left-hander here, and you can just see how much more grip we have. Joni Toomala sliding around there. We've pulled a 2-second gap to John Evans in a lap, and that just shows how much better our tires are at this point. And now we go for the move into the chicane. We go down the inside, and you can see that the front right end plate missing from Ola
So
shielded
this
him.
V-Carb has damage now.
As I got a little bit of a moment out of the final chicane, and I was thinking about a move into turn 1 there, but yeah, the difficult thing with this ERS system we have now is that when someone starts flashing, you don't know if they're below 10% or if they've just turned the battery off to none to recharge. But you can see how much more grip we have through the S section. Plus the fact Ulas has front wing damage, but at the same time, that front wing damage is going to give him a little bit more straight line speed, and he's not really going to get any dirty air. He's going to be dropping out of the 1 second window, which basically might give him a little bit of slipstream, but not really any dirty air. So that's going to be tough, because there's no more DRS zones. It doesn't matter if Ulas drops out of DRS here. We're going to have to do it purely on tire advantage and a very, very tiny bit of slipstream. You can see through the double left-hander, even though he has front wing damage, we just can't get close enough.
He's got wing damage, but he's still got more front end than me.
And yeah, now we need to get a run into the final chicane. We got a lot of battery. You can see Ulas has started flashing, and that means that he is below 10% battery. We go around the outside into the final corner. He leaves us a space on the outside. We leave him the space on the left-hander as well on the outside. And now we get P4 in the final corner. Freddy wins again for the 4th time, actually.
Good job.
So yeah, we need to lock in if we want to win this championship, because Freddy is running away with it. We're a little bit lucky that Freddy DNF'd in the first race, because otherwise he would be miles ahead. But yeah, now he's also, I think, 12 points ahead, which basically is a 2nd place finish, and Freddy has to DNF. So that's quite far he's ahead, 12 points. But yeah, he won 4 races in a row. You know, if you win 4 races in a row, it goes quite fast. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe. And see you guys next time. Soon the 500k special is going to be out. Make sure to check that out as well. And see you guys next time. Ciao.